Hello everyone, it's Francine here with a video for the MFT Summer Camp. In today's video I'm going to show you how to create a card using the delicate Pretty Poppy stamp set with watercolors. I first stamped the poppy with a light ink onto watercolor paper. I used spun sugar distress ink because I wanted something similar to no line coloring for the flower, and with spun sugar the outlines disappear while coloring. For the stem, I used Forest Moss Distress ink, but I did a third generation stamping. The first generation was a bit too dark, so I first stamped the stem on scrap paper and then onto the watercolor panel. I used my self-made watercolor palette, paper towel, scrap paper, water and some paintbrushes. I decided to go for a pink poppy, so I started with a light wash of pink. Then I outlined the petal with a darker shade. I worked from the outlines to the center, and I always blended the darker color into the lighter one. I did the same with each petal, and sometimes I added 2 or 3 layers of color until I was happy. As you can see, I experimented a little bit. I added a touch of yellow at the top of each petal, and I must say that I really love how the yellow blended into the pink. What you can't see in the video, but it's very important, is that I left each petal dry before coloring the next one, because I didn't want the colors to blend in. In the end, I went over some petals to darken up where I wanted the shadows to be darker, and I left it dry again. Once I was happy with the poppy, I colored the stem in the same way. I mixed green and brown to get this green shade. What's really fun with watercoloring is also to mix one color with another to create these variations. For this technique, you can use any watercolors you have on hand. I used a watercolor palette that I made with watercolor paints in tube from different brands, but a watercolor pan set or distress inks work well too. At this point of the painting, the flower was too clean for me, so I decided to add a touch of drama to the image and a little bit more chaos. I mixed some pink watercolor with a lot of water, and then I created some runs and dribbles. I also added some splatters here and there randomly. I made the same around the stem and I left it dry. As you can see, these dribbles and the splatters created a wild and fantastic background. Once it was dry, I added a layer of shimmer on top of the poppy. I have a paint that is similar to Wink of Stella Clear Glitter, and that's what I used here. But off camera I colored a pink wash with the Wink of Stella pen, and the result was the same. I added glitter because, yes, of course, it looks wonderful, but also because it adds so much light and it really brings the flower to life. Next, I stamped the sentiment. The sentiment is from the same stamp set as the poppy. I used the Mini Misty and I stamped the sentiment in black licorice hybrid ink. To finish off my card, I trimmed the panel and I fixed it onto a top folded card base that I first covered with patterned paper. This patterned paper is from MFT, and you will find a list of all supplies I used on the MFT blog. I hope you like what you've seen today. Don't forget that one random commenter on the video will be eligible to win a $15 gift card from MFT. And if you participate in each craft for the 5 days in session 1, you will be eligible for a grand prize of a $150 voucher. I hope you will join in. Thanks so much for watching today.